Hey YouTube fans, this is Tyconders doing another action figure review. Now this is a older set, it's not a fairly new one, but it was on pretty much clearance at the on Amazon, so I picked it up. And what this is the ultimate Batman set, the Penguin, Selena Kyle and Batman. So if we move the figures out of the way and their accessories, we'll just have a quick look at the box. So the box is pretty big. There is one other thing in this set. You get 8 accessories, 3 figures, and a vehicle. So if I just bring the box down, you see the Batman logo from the movie with Robert Pattinson. If I flip around the back of the box, you'll see the ultimate Batman set, the Penguin, Selena Kyle Batman. And what it doesn't say, which is also part of this set, is the movie Batmobile. Now this is I believe it might have been an Amazon exclusive. I may be wrong about it. I know there was a few store exclusives and a few stuff like that, so I think this might be maybe Amazon, but it is essentially the same basic figures that you got in the single carded wave for the first wave. I think there was only one wave of figures anyway. It's the same figures that you get in a single wave, just with a muddied pattern. So there is that. So the box is pretty much this, standard box for the Batman wave figures that they did. So it's this black and reddish, black red setup instead of the more standard. This is like the Batman comic book, cartoon, whatever, DC Cape Crusader style stuff. So they did change the box coloring just to denote that it's more of a movie tie-in stuff than their current Batman line. So I believe I have done a review for some of the individual figures, but we'll bring them in at the moment. And we'll bring in this beast of a thing. So we'll go through the accessories first and get them out of the way. Whoops. Just get the figures to stand. I might have to adjust my camera, so bear with me a second. Let me just drop my camera a bit. So you get a better look at the figures. There we go. So we'll go through the accessories. So for Batman, he comes with 3. For Catwoman, she comes with 3, technically 4, and then for Penguin, he comes up 1. Well, technically 2. We'll get into that in a second. So we'll start with Batman's first, and we'll get to Penguin's. So he comes with this pistol thing. I'm trying to remember what it was in the film. He did have a grapple launcher in the film. I don't know if this was film accurate. In fact, I'm not sure if he had this. This is just something they packaged in him. I think it's supposed to be like either a sort of EMP gun or it's definitely not the grapple launcher, because the grapple launcher that came with the individual carded figures was this one, and it's done in the same red plastic. The only other accessory that the standard, the plain figure came with is this extra armor piece that just made his chest look a bit more armored, but it's the same thing that came on the this also came with the standard figure. I think it's supposed to be some sort of EMP gun, something along those lines, kind of similar to what Christian Bale's Batman was using in that film. But the figure himself also comes with 2 batarangs. Again, these are designed to look like the chest logo, because in the movie, if I remember correctly, his batarangs are stored there and he shakes them out and then chucks them. I've seen that done in other iterations of Batman, where his batarangs are kind of stored on the chest symbol and he actually uses them as a weapon. So you get 2 of them and they're identical. That's pretty much Batman's accessories, other than the fact that he comes with the biggest accessory behind him, which is the Batmobile, which is a dedicated transport for him. Then you have Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any masked versions of her. She in the movie she dons this kind of weird bandit mask thing which has the pointy ears on it to give her the cat ears. She does come with a whip, her kind of signature trademark Catwoman weapon, so it can fit in her hands. She does have that. She does have, go on, stay there, penguin. She does have these clip-on overglove things. They're supposed to be her, you know, for sneaking around, stealing stuff. So they basically just clip over her hands and makes it look like she has extra gloves on. Now, the thing about these figures is they don't have wrist articulation, which is a downside of these figures. I really think it would have been cool if they could just add that extra articulation point for them, wrist articulation. Because when you have the gloves on, the gloves are held in place by the peg and the hand grips it. So if you were able to rotate it around, it would look a bit more natural instead of having them kind of looking like that, which is a bit of a shame. And then the other accessory she comes with is a bit of a weird one. She comes with a motorcycle helmet. And the cool thing about it is it has a flip-up visor. Now, you do see her riding a motorcycle in the movie. And there is a set, I think it's called the Gotham Chase set or something along those lines, where it comes with, oops, sorry, I'm knocking the camera. It comes with another version of Catwoman and a version of Batman with kind of, I think he has like either painted on battle damage or he has like rips in his uniform. I think the Catwoman is somewhat similar. And it comes with bikes for them. So it comes with, I think it's the Drifter bike. I don't think it's the same bike that came with the whatchamacallit, the Bat Cave set. It could be the same Bat Cave set bike for Batman, but it comes with Selena's bike as well. And like, I don't know if she comes with this accessory in that set. It would be kind of weird if she didn't. But it's weird that she comes with this motorcycle helmet accessory and doesn't come with a motorcycle. So it is kind of interesting. Maybe they intended to pack in a motorcycle with this set and then last minute took it out. So I'm not too sure, but it is it's a nice accessory. Don't get me wrong, it's a fairly decent one. In fact, just bring in another figure here. You can kind of jam it over figures from other lines. So here's Alan Grant. You can kind of jam it over his head. It will fit kind of most standard 3 1/4 inch figures, I would imagine. Unfortunately, I don't have any others handy. But the thing that makes these figures more unique, I'll just bring in the standard version of Catwoman. As you can see at the bottom of her feet, she has this kind of brownie mud splattering thing going on. That's the only difference between these figures. Sculpt-wise, it's identical. Paint apps, pretty much the same as the standard one, except for those splattered mud pattern. And that goes across the board on the other figures. So if I bring in Batman here, you can see he has this splattering on his boots. And same with Penguin. And if I just grab him off screen. In fact, actually, I have one closer by. I have the standard version of Batman, which is this version. This is the standard version. You can see he's pretty much identical. Even the, just get the cape sorted. He's pretty much identical, except for that little bit of mud splatter on the bottom of the feet. Same thing goes for Penguin. Exact same figure, just has a mud splatter on the bottom of the feet, and it's the same thing with the Batmobile. So as I said, Penguin comes with 2 accessories technically. His cane, or not cane, his umbrella opens up to reveal a hidden dagger, which is kind of cool. And he does hold on to it. Now the standard version of the figure came with a kind of cool suitcase, which also had like money in it. Well, it was like fake money in it. So I can just get him to hold this thing a bit more natural. I'm probably going to end up breaking this now while I'm doing this. There we go. So you can hold it a bit more like an umbrella. Probably better to do it this way. So you can hold it more like an umbrella, and then you can slip out the knife part. So this is not too bad. All these figures have pretty much similar articulation, and it's the same articulation as the basic standard one. So you have Penguin has a thigh swivel, hips move forward, kick back much, single jointed knee with a swivel, nothing in the ankle, arms can go out this much, rotate all the way around, single jointed elbow with a rotation, nothing in the wrist. His head doesn't really look like Colin Farrell, but then again, Penguin didn't even look like Colin Farrell, the actor that played him. They did such a good job with the prosthetics and makeup on this character. You couldn't even tell the actor playing him was Colin Farrell. I mean, like, Colin Farrell isn't even that big a person. They had a bodysuit, I'd say, on him as well. So, or like that large a gut. So it is a kind of cool, interesting way to see how they did this. The Penguin figure, not figure, but the Penguin character, and also the Penguin figure. And as far as I'm aware, it's still going ahead. There is still plans to do a Penguin TV spin-off or something using Colin Farrell's Penguin. So maybe that, I'm not sure if that's still going ahead or not, because there's a whole shake-up with DEC a couple of months back. So I'm sure that was one of the things that are still going ahead. And it'd be interesting to see that version of Penguin back on screens again, or on small screen or big screen, whichever way they're going with it. So for Selena, she has the same articulation as her other figure. So it is rotation at the arms. Now it is interesting to note that her shoulders do kind of curve in a bit. So when you're moving the arm up, it doesn't go straight up. It kind of bends out to the side when you're doing a full rotation. But they can bend up that much. Single joint elbow with a swivel. Kick forward. Single jointed knee. She has the upper thigh, just like with Penguin, and she has peg holes. Penguin does have peg holes on the bottom of his feet. He has that muddied print on it. And again, Batman, pretty much the same thing. There's no waist articulation on these either, so that is another shame, but it would have been just nicer if they had that extra point for the wrists. I don't mind the waist articulation not being there, or the ankle articulation. Like, he does have a kind of swivel at the knee, but it's not the same as the others. And he has a thigh swivel, whereas his just swivel below the knee, whereas the others were swiveling on the hinge, so you can get side to side. He still has single joint elbows, and it's pretty much what it is. He's a pretty cool design figure. He's not bad to fit in with other Batman lines and stuff like that. So if you're a fan, I know that version of the Batman was a lot more grittier and darker, and it was aimed for kind of a more adult audience. So I'm not sure how kids would kind of gel with this version of Batman, but it is another version of Batman, and it was pretty good. But the pièce de résistance on this set, if I just move figures out of the way, is the Batmobile. Now, I didn't say that these are for 3 3/4 inch 4 inch figures, but this is a 3 3/4 4 inch figure set. So the Batmobile is this monstrosity here. There is a switch underneath. It came with batteries. That's the default. So it's lights and sounds on this thing. Oh, yeah, if I turn it on, it would be handy. So we have lights and sounds. Beeping sounds as well. Just lights on the back. So you got a good lot of stuff on it, and this is a good segue to bring in this one. So this is the regular retail version of it, which I picked up a while back and I never did a review of. It has the exact same sounds as this one, and the same lights. The only difference between these two, other than it making sounds by itself, is the mud splatter pattern. In fact, I'm going to turn these off because they're super loud and I don't know if you can hear me over the sound of them. So I'm going to turn these off. So the only difference between these, now this one's a little bit dusty because I didn't review it while I've had it, is this beige mud splatter pattern that's supposed to be representing mud on it. Everything else seems to be the same. Paint apps, the way it's constructed, sounds, interior sounds, lights. The cool thing about this is it has 2 opening doors, so you can actually fit 2 figures in this. You can have regular plain old Batman in, oh wait, muddied Batman in the muddied one. It fits in quite nicely. We'll throw Selena Kyle into the muddied version of Selena Kyle into the opposite side. And so even though they didn't interact like that in the movie. And the same with this one. Regular Batman can fit in it. He can grip the handlebars or the steering wheel if you wish to. His cape does need to be pushed out of the way a bit. And then first, for a little bit of mix up, we'll throw Ian Malcolm in from the Hammond collection in as his partner in crime, or partner in crime busting. So you can see how it fits other 3 3/4 inch scale figures. You can see it is quite a large interior, so they do look a little short in there, but other than that, it is pretty good. So as I said, I picked this set up on Amazon. It was about $17. It's still, at the time of this recording, when I checked it, it's still around $17, which isn't too bad. I think the Batmobile itself, when that first came out, was about $20. So you're getting pretty much the 3 core character figures and the Batmobile in this entire set for under 20 bucks, which is a pretty good deal. So all in all, I do like it, and I already had the normal version of the Batmobile, and I kind of went with this one because it was so cheap. And so I decided to see what if there was any kind of major differences, other than the fact that the Catwoman figure comes with a motorcycle helmet and no motorcycle. It is a decent set, so if you're interested in picking it up, I'd say go for it. If not, it's not an end of the world if you don't want to get this set or any of the figures to do with this particular Spinmasters or Batman movie. But they were reasonably cheap, so there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for, well, hopefully quick video review for the Batman Ultimate Batman set with Batman, Batmobile, Catwoman, or Selena Kyle, and the Penguin. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy your day. Cheers!